fourth edition of Season 1 of Geek Nation. I'm Gabriela Garcia.
And I'm Michael Allen.
We have another great episode for you. We have two stats of the week from two different sports.
Plus, our Geek Nation Conversation is Chicago Cubs based.
So let's get started. We start the episode with the results from last week's Twitter poll question. With the recent violence in the news, do you feel safe when you go to a sporting event? 77% said yes and 23% said no.
And for this week's Twitter poll question, it is, the television rankings are in for the 2016 MLB All-Star Game, and they were a record low. So our question is, why did you not watch the game? I was busy, bad announcers, the game was boring, or I forgot it was on. Go to our Twitter @_GeekNation_ to answer this poll question. And for the golf stat of the week this week, at 46 years old, Phil Mickelson became the second oldest player to shoot a round in a major of 63 or better. The oldest is Gary Player.
MLB trade deadline is quickly approaching. Therefore, each week until then, we will be playing Would You Make That Deal? This week's proposed deal is the Colorado Rockies trade outfielder Carlos Gonzalez to the Cleveland Indians for starter Trevor Bauer. Would you make that deal?
No. I think the Rockies need a hitter, and that's what they get in Cargo. So I think pitching can be put on the back burner right now. You need hitting. Definitely need hitting.
I agree with you. Michael says no, he wouldn't make that deal, but go to our Twitter @_GeekNation_ and let us know if you would make that deal.
And for the MLB stat of the week this week, with the loss Friday night, the New York Yankees have fallen below 500 for the first time after the All-Star break since 1995.
Now it's time for a segment we like to call Fact or Fiction 5. The Boston Red Sox have already been involved in 4 trades this season. They will make at least one more trade before the MLB trade deadline. Fact or fiction?
Fact. I think they want at least one more pitcher, and they have the artillery, so to say, to get one more pitcher. The UFC will adopt stricter penalties for illegal substances soon in an attempt to cut down of their use by the fighters. Fact or fiction?
I think that's fact. We saw Brock Lesnar get caught the other day. So yeah, I just think it's going to happen and it should already be in play. Tom Brady will miss the first 4 games of the NFL season, and the Patriots will go 2-2 in those 4 games. Fact or fiction?
I think they go 1-3. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will have one good game, and then, he's just not going to be able to figure it out right away. So the Patriots are going to be in a little hole in the beginning of the season. The Home Run Derby, with its improvements, is now more entertaining than the actual All-Star Game itself. Fact or fiction?
I'm going to go with fiction. I still like the All-Star Game better. I'll watch the Home Run Derby, but it's not as entertaining as the All-Star Game has always been. So I'm just going to say fiction. This year's World Series will feature 2 Theo Epstein teams in the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs. Fact or fiction?
See, the thing about baseball, it's a beautiful sport. It can go one way for one team and another way for another team. But these 2 teams, the Red Sox and Cubs, will both make it to the World Series, so I am saying fact.
And I told you in the beginning of the season that I would like to see David Ortiz in the World Series against the Chicago Cubs, so I would love to see this World Series and be an awesome one to watch. Speaking of Theo Epstein, our Geek Nation Conversation topic is all about him. The topic is he the best current MLB general manager? So both the Red Sox and the Cubs have plenty of disposable income. How hard is it to be successful with all that money?
I think Theo just knows how to manage it. He knows what to do with it, and especially in Chicago, the Ricketts, Jed Hoyer, and just the fans, he's in a different realm than he was in Boston. This city, is in dying need of a championship, and he's going to go out and get things to help build a championship team. And that starts with young players.
Yeah, we saw what he did in Boston, and now he's trying to bring that mentality to a younger Cubs team, and it's working so far, so we'll see what happens at the end of the season. How much credit do you give the rest of the department, like scouts and such, for his success?
I think a lot, but it goes unnoticed. Sometimes, not all the time, but Theo's the one who who makes the deals happen. The scouts are the backbone to that, and if it wasn't for the scouting department that the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox had, they might not be contenders to this day. So Theo has a lot of thanks to give to both scouting departments.
Yeah, he has to give them a lot of credit for what they do, but ultimately he's the one that makes the deals happen, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
How much luck is involved, like in the Andrew Kashner for Anthony Rizzo and Scott Feldman for Jake Arrieta trades?
There's no such thing as luck in the game of baseball. Like I said earlier, baseball is a beautiful sport, so you never know if there's going to be an Anthony Rizzo type of player or a Jake Arrieta type of pitcher. It's just what you feel. And Jed Hoyer was the one who moved Anthony Rizzo from the Red Sox organization to the Padres organization, then to the Chicago Cubs organization. And then, once Theo came in and Jed, then they went out and they saw that, hey, Jake Arrieta, he could become this elite pitcher. It's going to take him a couple years to get there, which it did. And putting him around the right group of people, the right pitching staff, which is what's in place in Chicago, not like in Baltimore. Jake Arrieta has thrived. Anthony Rizzo has thrived. So luck, I don't really call it luck. I just think that's the right group of people, the right atmosphere, you're going to succeed.
Yeah, like you said, there's no luck in baseball. You just kind of take your chances. And I feel like Jake Arrieta didn't have a lot of success in Baltimore because he just needed a team like the Cubs to bring him up. Same with Anthony Rizzo. You didn't hear about him until he came to the Cubs, and now he's a superstar, and you just don't know what you're going to get. And if they didn't have all that success with the Cubs, they wouldn't be on the Cubs anymore.
Exactly.
So you just take your chances. Does he need to make a longer timestamp on the Cubs before we put him in the conversation of great current GMs? Or does he have to win a World Series with the Cubs before we do so?
I don't think he needs a longer stamp. He said 4 years when he came here. That's the time plan to turn this team around. He turned the team around from a 100 loss team to a 100 win team in the matter of those 4 years. And it all starts with the front office. Then it goes to everyone involved in the game day setup at Wrigley, to the people in the clubhouse, security guards, laundry people, all the way down to single A farm. And it's showed throughout this. And right now, there is no one better than him as a GM.
So you say he's the best GM.
Yes.
If he wasn't the best, would the players still want to come to the Cubs?
I believe so. I really do. I mean, you've seen big name players come up, but the farm system has been stacked not just because of Theo. You have to think Jed Hoyer. Jed Hoyer is also a driving force behind the team's success. And he knows his money management, he knows what the fans want, he knows what the players want, and the Ricketts are the same way. The Ricketts wouldn't put all this money into a baseball stadium, into a team, and not want to be a contender. So those groups of people have an idea in place, and Theo just kind of perfects it. So to answer your question, without Theo in the picture, yes, players would still want to come.
And I just want to point out that Theo, Jed, the Ricketts, they are all involved in the community in Chicago, and they hang out with fans. You can see them walking down the street, and they're going to talk to you. They want to talk to you about the team. They want to get your opinion. So I think that's another reason why people want to come play for the Cubs.
Exactly. And let us know what you think on our Twitter, @_Geek Nation _. Do you think Theo is the best GM in baseball? Let us know.
That's going to do it for this episode of Geek Nation, but make sure you go to our Twitter, @_Geek Nation _. Vote on our Twitter poll and let us know what you think on this week's Geek Nation Conversation topic.
I'm Michael Allen,
I'm Gabriela Garcia.
and thanks for tuning in this week.